Different levels, I cannot relate. You never win if you playing it safe. It's all a game until you get played.
Welcome. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to It's Culture Podcast. I'm the host, Mark, and tonight we're gonna have a serious conversation. Karmelo Anthony's mom did a press conference today. And I think it's worth noting that when social media does what it does, we really don't realize what it does to families. This woman is already dealing with a lot. She may be losing her son for the rest of his life. And yet and still, people will find time to threaten people and talk smack and put out fake information. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Leticia James, the New York Attorney General, I knew something was going to happen. All these black prosecutors who have went after Trump, all of them are finding themselves in some type of legal situation where they're getting caught up in some type of fraud and corruption. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And then finally, a Boston Black Lives Matter politician pled guilty to some kickbacks. And I talked about this earlier when the news first broke, when she first was arrested. And we're going to talk about that because she just pled guilty. And we're going to talk about the implications of that. But before we get into any of that tonight, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the share button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get all the updates. And as I say on all my shows, I thank each and every last one of you for tuning in, rocking with your boy, hitting that buttons, sharing the videos, commenting. I appreciate it all. It helps me to keep making these videos and keep continuing to bring content. You see, I'm upgrading stuff, changing logos and everything, bringing this channel to the future. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in and rocking with me. I really, really do. So let's get into it. As I was saying, Karmelo Anthony's mom did a press conference earlier today, and she gave a speech. And to me, it was very, very heartfelt. I can only imagine what this woman is going through, everything that her family is dealing with. And to have people on social media do some of the most despicable and foul stuff is absolutely apparent. And I feel, very, very sympathetic to this family. It's bad enough. They already got to deal with the fact that their son is accused and alleged of first-degree murder for stabbing Austin Metcalf at a track meet. We know this. So they're dealing with that. But to have social media come after these people, the family, make up lies, make up all kind of twisted narratives to try to paint them as some ghetto trash with thug culture. This is just typical of the stuff that you see from these far right, I guess you want to call them influencers, whatever you want to call them. Some of them, they try to act like they toe the line on conservatism, and then they want to act like they are, Christian, but so judgmental. and yet and still they be doing all the virtual signaling. So I want y'all to see this press conference from Karmelo's mom. I couldn't really hear her name. I think she said it was Janaya. I think she said that. I couldn't really hear that. So we're gonna take a listen to it, but I want y'all to pay attention.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes.
Kayla Hayes. Okay. Kayla Hayes.
I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way.
She just saying, as a mother, all I tried to do was raise them to be good kids. We tried to put them in a great environment so they could thrive. Just like every other family in America, this is what the American dream is supposed to be. I applaud that. Yes, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
Amen. And that has been going on a lot on social media, and we're going to talk about that when we get done watching this video.
The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff.
Everybody's at risk right now because fools want to be online spreading all kind of BS.
Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her.
Yes. What can you say?
And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution, we believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us.
Yes. Yes. All of that. All of that. The family being targeted for no reason whatsoever. Karmelo this situation, if this was white on white or either black on black, because Texas also has another case that's on trial right now where a white kid actually stabbed a Hispanic kid. He's actually on trial right now. It's kind of the same situation at a high school. So she's saying they've been getting lied on. Yes, they have. Because the very first part of the lies started when you start seeing stuff like this. There's no hope of improving race relations in this country as long as a black murderer can be rewarded with $500,000 and a new home for stabbing a white kid to death. Wow. Rewarded. $500,000 in a new home. Where did the new home supposedly came from? Allegedly, the New York Post. They wrote this. Karmelo Anthony renting $900K home in gated community with family, bought new car after release on bond in Austin Metcalf case report. So whoever this Richard Paulina for the New York Post wrote this, and then they shared it on their social media. All false. This is a lawsuit waiting to happen. A lawsuit waiting to happen. I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Why would you make up stuff? Because they want this case. It's for some reason the same people who always say, don't talk about race. Why everything got to be about race? Black folks always want to play the race card. It's mighty funny when situations like this happen, race always plays a factor. Even though the Metcalf family said, don't play that card. Don't play that card. That didn't stop social media, though. That didn't stop social media from respecting the Metcalf family's wishes, because they decided to come up with a narrative, because that's what they got to do. They got to create this narrative and drum up division instead of looking at this objectively and letting the rule of law, a jury trial, decide the fate of this young man. But right now, you got people that are threatening this family. Not only did they threaten the family, they actually threatened the judge too. The judge. Simply because she lowered the bond from $1 million down to $250,000 and allowed him to be bonded out and put him on house arrest. He has to be around his family. He had a $1 million bond. We have people that have killed way more people that don't have a bond that high. So she knew, plus he wasn't a flight risk. He had never been in trouble. He's a juvenile. Why would you want to give him the most sinister bond, like he's some absolute menace to society? Because that's the narrative that people on the right were trying to paint of this young man. And as much as conservatives want to act like this is not them, and they want to try to call out call out their own peers and stuff, y'all know this stuff has been manifested ever since and promulgated. It's been boiling, it's been festering. They've been waiting for a time so they can say whatever the hell they want to say. But I'm glad, because they get to show their colors. And as they get mad, the fundraiser for the Anthony family continues to climb. And then they're perusing around on the website trying to see what's going on. But the judge, she had to shut down her social media. Why? Take a look. Here is the Daily Mail. Karmelo Anthony judge Angela Tucker goes to the ground as she's blasted for letting teen killer out of jail. Texas judge who reduced the bond of a teen who killed another boy at a track meet has been forced to go private on social media after being widely criticized for her ruling. Calling County District Judge Angela Tucker set her ex account to private after she reduced Karmelo bond from $1 million to $250,000 on Monday. Anthony, 17, will await his trial for Austin Metcalf's murder in home arrest after bonding out of jail following Tucker's decision. Metcalf died in his twin brother Hunter's arms after being stabbed in the heart at a track meet in Frisco. She had to go dark. And also, she had to get security. Because she's getting threatened. People calling her a DEI judge. And then they found out, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. She's a conservative. She's not a liberal. But I ain't stopped her for running with the narrative that she was a DEI hire. So we know they think that she ain't qualified. Oh, she needs to be voted out. She needs to be voted out. Why? Because she reduced the bond down? I just told y'all there is a trial in Texas already that is going on right now with a white kid who stabbed a Hispanic kid. He's on trial right now, and his bond got reduced. So his bond actually got reduced a little more. I think his got reduced down to like $185,000. This kid's bond got reduced down to $250,000. But that wasn't enough. They wanted him to stay in jail. And then they found out that his family was living in a nice neighborhood. They had to move, rent out another place so they could be in a gated community so they could feel safe. The daughter can't sleep at night. And people found out they doxed these people, doxed the former job. Why? Why are y'all doxing these people? You don't know these people. This situation is getting attention that it probably would never have gotten if this happened with the same race. The assailant and the victim were the exact same race. This would not be national news, nor would it be having social media in the uproar. We know exactly why this is the case. It is the case because people want to make it about race when it's not. For some reason, some people seem like they want a race war. They want to keep stoking this flame, keep stoking it. They want to continue to go down this path of saying the most vile and sick stuff online. And then you inherit that with the use of AI and all this technology and bots to amplify messages. And what do? You stoke flames. While on the same token, we got a trade war going on. They keep you up in arms over here, worried about a race war, fighting and arguing amongst yourselves over here, while our entire economy is going to complete crap. This is exactly what they do. They socially engineer us to be coming up with be up in arms. This family shouldn't be going through this. They got enough to deal with. If Karmelo is guilty, the courts will find him guilty. But for some reason, it seems like the way these people are acting is if he's going to be acquitted. It seems like they know something that we don't know. So, as I was saying, we're going to see what's going to happen with this case. But I just feel my heart goes out with this family, that they shouldn't be dealing with this. I was talking about Leticia James earlier. Leticia James, the New York Attorney General. I knew this was coming. I said it a while ago when Fani Willis went after Trump. And then Leticia James and Alvin Bragg. I said, eventually, he's going to come after y'all. And I said it a while ago, that you better make sure that your house is in order when you're trying to take down the big dogs. When you go up against the big dogs, you better not miss. Now, Leticia James did get him convicted, had him liable for some things. She kept pressing. Trump doesn't like Leticia James. And then this week, we find out that now Leticia James is in the crosshairs of the Trump administration and his Department of Justice. What am I talking about here? Leticia James is accused of mortgage fraud. Mortgage fraud. They say that she tried to utilize her position and her income and say to try to get a better rate in a different location. Let's take a listen to the news.
CBS News reports that Leticia James faces allegations that she falsified bank documents and possible mortgage fraud. The director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency says James may have changed her residence status to get a better mortgage rate on a Norfolk home in 2023 while still living in New York as the Attorney General. Now, the home in question is on Sterling Street. That's just off West Little Creek Road near the Ward's Corner section of town. Leticia James previously sued President Donald Trump for alleged financial fraud, and a judge found Trump, his family, and the Trump organization liable. A spokesperson for James called this a weaponization of the government against the rule of law and said James, quote, will not be intimidated by bullies.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this because it doesn't make any sense to me. But I will say this, though. This is what I will say. Leticia James should have knew that Trump was going to come after her. And to now say that it's a weaponization of the Department of Defense against you, that was the same thing that Trump said against y'all. When you were trumping up charges, all these felony charges that maybe should have been misdemeanors, and y'all did all this to get all these convictions, thinking that that was going to stop him from winning the election. It didn't. All that it did was fuel his constituents. That's all it did. It fueled the people that was going to vote for him to continue to vote for him. And that's what happened. And now the chickens done came home to roost. And now you done found yourself in the same crosshairs. You done found yourself getting in trouble just like Fonnie Willis. And now you about to go down. Because you went after the big dog and you missed. You missed. And he's about to take you down. Mortgage fraud. They say that you tried to defraud the system. The same thing that Marilyn Mosby got caught with. You're going to lose your entire career because of Trump. Because you tried to go after him and elevate your career. And now you about to be a convicted felon, hoping and praying to God that in 2028, whoever the president becomes, you would be praying to him like Marilyn Mosby was praying to Biden to please pardon you because you can't practice law and you can't find no job because you got this big felon. So you're going to be stuck and relegated to doing the Chitlin Circuit podcast tour, begging just like Marilyn Mosby was. And what happened? Biden took himself out of office and didn't pardon her ass at all. Didn't pardon her. She did all that tap dance and they did all that stuff, and the man walked right out and left her ass to hang to dry. And this is exactly what's going to happen to Leticia James. Couldn't leave well enough alone. Press the button. And somebody gassed you up, told you, hey, they had your back. And here you are right now all alone looking at a felony charge and in the crosshairs of the Department of Justice. Because the Ethics Committee has already given their inquiry to the DOJ. So the Attorney General Pam Bondi already got it. So we know what's going to come next. Trump has already said it on Truth Social. He wants her indicted, called her corrupt. And you know, that's how he talks to not only his base, but that's exactly how he communicates whatever it is that he wants the people who work for him to do. This is how he communicates to them. He's telling Pam Bondi through social media, basically to her face, it's time to take Leticia James down. I want her prosecuted. Period. And what is Pam Bondi going to do? She either going to prosecute Leticia James or Trump going to fire her. And we already know that she's not going to try to get fired. I'll be curious to see how this goes. And as this trial and whatever this is that Leticia James has found herself into, as it progresses, I'll come back and give y'all the updates as it goes on, because this is about to be interesting right here. And then finally, talk about corruption. Boston elected. She's a Black Lives Matter activist, but she's also a undocumented immigrant. Well, she was. Somehow, another, she's a citizen, I guess now. Don't know how that happened, but she was a Black Lives Matter activist, right? Name is Tania Fernandes Anderson. I talked about this a while ago when she first got indicted. Well, she just pled guilty because she was getting kickbacks. Now, she was in Boston City Council, and she overpaid her cousin. In exchange, her cousin was supposed to give her the money. And so they basically set her up, and they got her on camera getting the money in the bathroom in City Hall. That's exactly what happened. She took the bribe, the kickback from her cousin for being overpaid, and that's what they were doing. It was over $10,000. Now, she pled guilty to it, and she's also decided that she's going to resign from her office because she's pled guilty and she's going to have to do a year in prison. So let's take a listen to this so y'all can hear it.
City Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson will be resigning from her job and likely serving a year in prison after being arrested late last year and charged in connection with a kickback scheme at City Hall.
Councilor, any thoughts on today's charges and allegations?
No comment, thank you.
Anything you'd like to say to your constituents?
Not today.
This was Anderson after her court appearance in December, declining to comment about the case, but Tuesday released a statement saying, "I have decided to plead guilty and resolve the case brought against me. I would like to apologize to my constituents, supporters, and all who have been impacted. Please forgive me. I will be resigning. It is the right thing to do."
And here's the thing. So before this, she didn't want to resign. Even though they had her dead to rights, they knew exactly when she did it. They had the entire case. And if you want to go back, I put it in the chat. You all can go back and review the video when I broke this down the first time. But they had her dead to rights. They knew exactly how much she had offered. It was all through communication. They had text messages, everything. And they had the camera footage. So the idea that it took her this long to decide that she was going to finally step down is asinine to me, because she should have been stepped down. Or they should have recalled her and got up out of there, because she knew that she was caught. Everybody was calling for her to resign. The mayor and everybody else on city council. But she wanted to stay in power.
It's an incredibly unfortunate situation. Residents of District 7 and across the city rightly should have representation, and public officials rightly should be held to a high standard. So I called initially for resignation months ago.
Prosecutors say Anderson gave a relative who worked in her office a $13,000 bonus, with the understanding she would give Anderson $7,000 back. The exchange was made in a City Hall restroom.
It does seem like an incredibly insignificant sum to risk such shame and embarrassment, public humiliation, and now incarceration for $7 grand.
According to this plea deal, Anderson will spend a year in prison and repay the $13,000 $13,000 in taxpayer money.
We get elected and the public needs to trust us, and these types of actions just tear away at that trust that I believe the residents of the city of Boston deserve.
Anderson would have been up for re-election in November. Whether or not there will be a special election to fill her seat will likely depend on when exactly the resignation takes place.
Another one bites the dust. I see a pattern here, and there's this corruption, but it's just a pattern. All these black women are seeing themselves getting thrown under the bus for some reason. They doing kickbacks, bribes. You can't do these things in office and be loud, boisterous, and vocal. On this channel, we have talked about corruption from all over the country, and it's a pattern right now. Everywhere we talk about is you see kickbacks and people abusing their using taxpayer money for their personal gain, taking trips all overseas, going to Africa, buying stuff from Wayfair and Amazon, and getting paid 3 times the amount of the money they supposed to be getting paid. Just spending money, putting people on payroll that shouldn't be on payroll, that's not even qualified to do the job. We have seen this countless amounts of times in these cities throughout America, and I don't know what the problem is. This ain't Trump. Trump is not the person that is out here doing right now, getting ready to go to jail for a year because they decided to take $7,000 in taxpayer dollars because you willfully knew that you could not give the amount of money that you paid your cousin. You knew you was wrong for doing this. You was abusing the taxpayers. And when the budget blows the hell up, guess who's on the hook to cover all this stuff? We, the taxpayers. We're the ones that's got to cover all this crap. Go into debt and deficits. And next thing you know, there's some referendum or some bond that y'all want to come to us to raise our property taxes so we can pay for something. That's why I highly encourage everybody to get involved in their local politics, because you don't know what the hell these people are doing. They're taking your money and they're blowing through it, and then they're raising the taxes, and everything is going up. And while all of this crap is going on, and we already seeing the rising cost of all goods and services, we're in a freaking trade war. Getting pinched. How many of y'all saw the increase in your taxes this year on your tax returns? We're paying for all this stuff. And these are the people that we're elected into office, and we expecting them to go in and do what they say they're going to do, fight for the people. That's what all of them say. I'm going to go fight for the little man, and we need to bring the middle class back. And all they're doing is lining their own damn pockets and using our money to do it. So we're going to see what Boston going to do. If they're going to elect somebody, or they're going to let the seat go until they do a special election. But I'm pretty sure somebody's going to come into office and they're going to be, hey, I'm the voice of change. We'll see who gets propped up. This is a stain on the Democrats. Another stain. I'm pretty sure a Republican going to run and say, hey, not about corruption, but this is an endless cycle right now. Local politics. So, but that does it for me tonight. That does it. That is the end of what I wanted to go over. Well, really not. I'll say this. Thoughts and prayers go out to the students at Florida State University. I don't know if y'all saw earlier, but there was a mass shooting there on Florida State's campus, and a couple of people lost their lives, and a couple other students were injured. They already identified the shooter, and it's a pattern. This one here, parents were police officers, so he had firearms. I don't know how he got a hold of them, but decided to go long range on their campus and had it locked down all day. So thoughts and prayers to everybody down there. We already know that this is going to get talked about in the lexicon, the news, but nothing's going to change. So, you know, it's going to be wash, rinse, and repeat until the next school shooting. But these things continue to happen and nobody wants to do anything. So, but that's my time for tonight. I thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back at this thing live on Sunday night at 8 p.m. But in the meantime, I appreciate you all for rocking with me. Salute to everybody. Y'all have a great weekend. Until next time, Culture Nation, let's keep it culture.